Why are you right? Yes, you, conservative person.
Oh. I was going to answer, but then you added that it was for a conservative person. So answering as a conservative person, I'm just going to say I'm not.
Can you answer that question?
No, because I'm not conservative.
I think it's so important that I wrote a book about it. How to be right. The art of being persuasively correct.
Isn't this guy like famous or something? Greg Gutfeld? Don't I know this guy's name from something? Is he on TV or some shit? What's he do? He like on Fox News? He's on Fox News. Okay.
Because if you can't be persuasive about why you are right, then we, the United States of America and the Republic for which it stands, are lost. So here's the...
Oh, man, what a doofus.
Like, if you conservatives don't get off your ass, then America's dead. If you figure out how to be right all the time, even when you're wrong, then America, basically, there's no America no more. That's how it goes. The Republic dead, America dead. Might as well just burn the whole motherfucking thing down. Piece of shit country at that point. Unless conservatives learn to be even more arrogant and cocky in their positions.
The simple answer to why you are right. It is a more practical, generous, and compassionate way to live.
Okay.
Let me explain.
Sure.
There have been a bunch of academic studies on how those on the left and right approach problems.
Okay.
They pretty much all come to the same conclusion.
All right.
The right tends to be risk-averse, more concerned about external threats, like tyranny and terror.
Mm-hmm.
Conservatives, get this, tend to be conservative. They're less likely to play with fire in just about every sense, financially, artistically, sexually. They're cautious about changing traditions.
Right. They're stupid.
Sometimes to a fault.
Always to a fault.
Which is why they cling to that crazy constitution they like so much.
Yeah.
And to their guns and their religion.
Yep.
We conservatives
All irrationally.
also focus on what we can fix and accept what we cannot.
No, you guys basically ignore problems and just say that you basically, you try to act like you give it about fixing anything, but basically when you're confronted with a problem, you just say, well, it's as good as it could possibly be, and you have no solutions to anything. You basically are 100% about accepting broken systems, even when there are solutions possible, even when solutions already exist in other countries, you still just ignore, oh, no, we can't do that, because then we have to raise taxes on fucking Jeff Bezos. So no way.
Which is one of the many reasons we're not obsessed over global warming. With radical Islam, we know what the threat is, and that it's a lot worse than a few missing polar bears.
So the entire the ecosystem of the entire fucking planet, the toxifying of the oceans, droughts, climate fucking refugees, all this stuff, not a threat. Couple of fucking dudes going, Allah! That's the threat. Okay. You, sir, Greg Gutfeld, you're a fucking moron. Just want to let you know. No, hey, hold on. You gotta go full screen for this. You are a fucking moron.
I know that makes me sound mean. Sorry, polar bear.
No, it really doesn't make you sound mean so much as it makes you sound like a fucking moron.
Liberals, the research tells us, are generally more outgoing, more likely to try new stuff. They're open to new ideas, though not school choice or flat taxes or a market-based healthcare reform.
Right, not stupid ones.
And are less likely to feel threatened by unfamiliar things. This is why, in general, they seem to have more fun. They're more likely to try drugs, for example, which is fine as long as they don't end up throwing up in my toaster.
Who the fuck gives a shit about your what?
In short, liberals are pretty liberal. They feel free to take risks that the risk-averse usually end up paying for.
I'm accepting that liberals and leftists are just going to be lumped into one group for this and just address it accordingly.
Over and over. Which explains the necessity for conservatism. We are the cleanup crew. Liberals may...
No, you're usually the ones that don't clean anything up. You're usually the ones that are like opposed to cleaning something up. So whatever. You're the group that says clean your room, bucko, when your own room is fucking filthy.
They seem to have more fun, and many do, but according to polls, they aren't as happy as conservatives. And with
Yeah, ignorance is bliss, I guess.
All the fun they're having, I've never quite figured out why the angriest people I've encountered in my life have been liberals.
Oh, well, let me help explain that. It's because they're encountering you. You're welcome.
Maybe it's because short-term fun doesn't translate into long-term happiness.
No
Marriage,
shit.
families, and religion do that. And those are the things conservatives...
Yeah, marriage, the gateway to happiness. Actually, mine is, but most people suck.
most value.
From what I've seen.
Liberals tend to live for now, conservatives for later. A risk-averse
No. Liberals tend to live in the present. Conservatives tend to live in the past and in fear of the future.
conservative is more likely to save money. He is more likely to protect his investments. He is more likely to protect property and
Well, I'm left as they come, and I got a fucking nice little savings account, so whatever.
advocate for rule of law and preservation of individual protections.
Yeah, most people are totally against rule of law. You know what I
And he
mean?
offers no excuses
I hate law.
for looting.
I hate the
Instead,
concept
he
of law.
empathizes with the Asian, Arab, and black small businessman
What happened?
whose convenience store, laundry, or restaurant goes up in flames during the riot that liberals reflexively endorse as an understandable response to injustice. Of course, conservatives
We side with the black businessman and the Latino businessman and the Asian businessman. Well, what about the rest of their communities? You side with them too? No. But the business people we side with. It's like, oh, okay, so you just like business people. Yeah.
aren't
Unless they sell drugs, of course. Then they're bad business people.
risk-averse in everything, but they take risks with their own lives, not with the society. Conservatives risk all to build businesses. That risk, however, is rooted in a fact-based belief, not faith, in the free market. If people want the product or service you're supplying at the price you're asking, you will succeed.
Oh my God, are we really going to do this invisible hand of the market for dummies bullshit? As if this is even how capitalism works anymore?
And the risk will pay off. Over time, it's conservative risk-taking that creates a civilization by building families, businesses, and nations, all of which
Wow.
creates more wealth that can then be used to help those in need. You need
Wait, no. Wealth that is then not used to help those in need. Wealth that is then hoarded by fucking ultra billionaires. What are you talking about? Jeff Bezos has enough money to cure a number of social ills just himself. Like, he could easily wipe out poverty. I mean, like, his wealth could pay for, like, several fucking social programs. There's a fucking link. I'll show it to you. Hold on. Let's just go through it. This is wealth shown to scale. Scroll right. Okay. See this shit? All right, I'm gonna take the chat off for a second so you guys can properly appreciate this. So this little tiny pixel here, you probably, if you strain, you might be able to see it. That's $1,000. This little square here, that's $68,000. This little green block here, that's $1 million. This big blue block here that we got to scroll through, that's $1 billion. Now, this is the $185 billion wealth of Jeff Bezos. Jeff is so wealthy that it is quite literally unimaginable. We rarely see wealth inequality represented to scale. This is part of the reason Americans consistently underestimate the relative wealth of the super rich. Every 10 pixels you scroll is $5 million. Okay, we're coming up on the end now. Just kidding. We're about a third of the way. Keep scrolling. There's more to see. Let's put this wealth into perspective by comparing it to some familiar things. All the money you'll ever earn in your entire lifetime, from the day you were born until the day you die, about $1.7 million. There it is. There's the worth of your entire life traveling through the vast chasm of Jeff Bezos' wealth. There's the annual cost of health care for a family of 4. There's the annual pay of an Amazon warehouse worker. This is the annual cost to house every homeless veteran. Every homeless veteran. Annual cost of chemotherapy for all cancer patients. For all cancer patients. On July 20th, 2020, Jeff Bezos made $13 billion in a single day. Even the fortunes of very rich people are dwarfed by the incomprehensible wealth of the 0.0001%. This is truly abandon hope kind of stuff right here. Actually, scrolling through this is dehumanizing. Wealth of Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon. That little tiny blue block. I mean, it seems tiny, but it's $50 million. This is the wealth of Beyonce. It fits in a fucking tiny little fraction of Jeff Bezos' fortune. This is the wealth of Apple CEO Tim Cook. This is the lifetime earnings of a doctor or a lawyer. This is the lifetime earnings of a hedge fund manager. These people may see themselves as fabulously rich and often oppose policies aimed at reducing inequality. But of course, they're nothing compared to the vast, incomprehensible fortune of one man named Jeff Bezos. And we're still journeying through his fortune. But many have not fully grasped the enormous gulf between themselves and the super rich. They're, of course, talking about like the Beyoncés and the hedge fund managers of the world. That really, even they don't really understand how fucking far below they are the likes of Mr. Bezos or Mr. Musk or Mr. Gates. This is, what is this? 200 million? Mark Zuckerberg. Oh yeah, that's on a scale from 0 to Mark Zuckerberg's fortune. This is where 200 million places you. Basically, you're almost at 0 in comparison. Crazy. We can have a world in which wealthy people exist without handing nearly all money to the super rich. We're still not to the end. We're still going. How long have we been scrolling? I think we've been scrolling it through this longer than we were watching that PragerU video almost. No single human needs or deserves this much wealth. No shit. And we're still going. And we're still going. And we're still going. And we're still fucking going. And then we get to this is the combined wealth of the 400 richest Americans. And scrolling through this is fucking, it gets even more insane. And the social problems you could solve with that money get even more enormous. But yeah, suffice to say, this idea that like, oh wow, the wealth they generated goes to help everyone, total bullshit.
Money to make money, but you also need money to give money. Conservatism makes what liberalism takes. So for example, for liberals to get their minimum wage hike, first we need conservatives to build businesses, to think like businessmen, to sacrifice their own salaries in order to pay others, to sleep on floors, if necessary, in order to break even.
Oh, yeah, of course. The common, totally common for CEOs to sleep on the floor to make their company a success.
Then, when they make a profit and things are going great, when the calm sets in, liberalism can appear and say, how dare you not pay these people a living wage? Once the tables are full of diners and bills are being paid, and you're thinking about opening a second joint, liberalism arrives to demand its cut. Think of it as a protection racket, sort of like the Gambino family, but without loyalty, job prospects, and tracksuits. In short, conservatism doesn't compete with liberalism. It sustains it. Without conservatism, there is no liberalism.
Well, let's put that to the test, shall we? You guys go away and we'll see what happens. Because I'm pretty sure it's all going to turn out fine.
And so when a liberal asks you, why are you a conservative? Simply say, so that you can be a liberal.
And then they'll look at you in confusion. Wasn't this the same guy that asked a little earlier in this video, like, how come all the liberals I meet seem real sour? Because they have to put up with bullshit like that. Why are you conservative? So that you could be a liberal. Like, yeah, anyone's going to look at that person who just said that shit like, okay, well, fuck you then. Right?
I'm Greg Gutfeld.
Okay. Well, it was very nice to see you, Greg. I mean, it really wasn't, but I guess we could say that it was. Oh, man. What the fuck was that?